Well, my name is Father Joe Hirsch. I'm the Vocation Director for the Diocese of Crosse. I've been working with young men discerning their vocations to the priesthood here as Vocation Director now for 7 years, and it's been a real pleasure to work with them and to see them go through all the stages as they go through in discernment. Today I would like to share with you just for a moment my own story and then a couple pieces of advice for anybody who is discerning. First of all, in my own life, it took many years to discern the call to priesthood. When I was age 7, I was thinking about being a priest. I had no idea where the thought came from. My family, through a life of prayer, example, whatever. When it came time to 8th grade, I went to seminary. I thought about going to seminary, and so 9th grade in high school, I'm in the seminary. Sophomore year of high school, I'm in the seminary. But by that time, the hormones are kicking in, all sorts of things are happening, and at this point I'm going, I don't even know if I believe in God. I like girls. And the seminary ended up closing, Holy Cross Seminary in La Crosse. So I left the seminary. I could go on, but I thought I'd have to figure out life. So I quit, went back to public school, and lived my life. I almost left the Catholic Church because I was looking for faith and I just could not connect. And finally, in my freshman year of college, my parents had my brother and me, forced me to go on a Catholic college retreat. And when I went on that retreat, I started to get answers to my questions in the faith. My brother met his future wife. And consequently, from that, it began a whole new search again. I thought I was done with this idea of priesthood, but now it all started to come back again. And so I said, Lord, I'll do whatever you want. I'm 21 years old or 20 years old. Tell me what you want me to do. Well, no answer. So I ended up continuing on, doing volunteer work, doing traveling, doing a number of things. I kept making that prayer, no answer, no answer, no answer, no answer. And finally, at age 25, I sat down with Father Burke, and then Father Burke, and he said, Joe, let's pray for 30 days that God show you what he wants you to do. I said, Father Burke, I've been praying for 5 years, 6 years, whatever it's been. I got no answer. He said, you come back and don't tell me which one God is called. How did he put it? He said, don't tell me the one that you're going to do. Tell me the one you're willing to give up. He said, Joe, if you're going to come back and you're going to say, you're either going to come back in 30 days and say, I'm going to give up dating, or I'm going to give up the seminary. And if you give up seminary, that's the end of it. We're never going to open that door again. So for 30 days, I prayed that God would show me my wife. But at the end of 30 days, I did come to a realization, and that was, there was something inside of me that said, I was 16 when I left the seminary. I never discerned as an adult this vocation. And I came back after 30 days and I said, Father Burke, there's something about the seminary right now that if I don't go back and check it out, I'm always going to wonder what if. I'm always going to look over my shoulder. When I see a priest at Mass, I'm going to say, I wonder if that were me, what it would be like. I said, I have to get rid of that. The only way I can get rid of it is I think I have to go back to seminary. So it took me another year and a half, 2 years to get ready for seminary, and I entered major seminary at age 27. I thought it would be an easy decision, and yet it wasn't. It still took me 3 years in the seminary before I could finally say, yes, this is what I am called to do. I was age 30 when I finally felt that God said, this is what you're meant to do. In one sense, I think that prepared me well for being a vocation director, because I have a lot of men, it takes a long time for them to discover God's call. If I had just walked in and walked through the program very easily, I probably wouldn't be able to identify with them as well. But I identify with the guys who are struggling because I struggled so much. What are some pieces of advice that I would go back and give myself? Or what are some pieces of advice that I would go back and give you right now? Number one, if you find yourself, ask yourself that question, would I be looking over my shoulders? There's something here that I need to take a look at. You don't want to live the rest of your life looking over your shoulder. Take some time to discern this. I'll give you another image for this. If a guy is dating a girl and he looks at her and he says, I think she'd be a perfect wife. And the next day he says, I think she would be a really good wife. But they
they don't date.